Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's that time. It's tarot time with Cindy, my friends. I'm going to do a general collective reading. It's like general week here, collective reading. I'm going to use the archetype deck. I'm going to do a snapshot of you. I'm going to ask who you really are, how you are perceived by others, what others misunderstand about you, how this affects you in relationships, and what is your untapped potential here. Oh, look at you. You came out in the upright. Isn't that lovely? You are a student in the light. You have a humility and a devotion to knowledge. You're open to lifelong learning. So you never really feel like you know everything about something, and you're always open to new information coming in. You're very curious. You're curious. Some of you might even be people that are always kind of taking new courses, expanding your knowledge, maybe also increasing the level of expertise that you already have in something, like upping that. All right, nice. How are you perceived by others? Oh, it's in the shadow. What is up with that? Rescue shadow assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. I wonder why. Why would people perceive you as that? So it's almost like people perceive you as, I'll help you if you help me, or if I help you, you better be thankful, or you owe me one. Right? Keeps the rescue, but then you want the rest. It's almost like somebody here perceives you that when you're helping someone out, you want to give them just enough so that they still need your help down the road. That's odd, no? Let me see. Why? What others? That's how you're perceived. Why people misunderstand you? Thief in the light sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Ah, I think you want some people to figure it out for themselves sometimes. That's totally good. Oh, no. Maybe people think like you come across as maybe somebody who's quite well read also, or you have a lot of experience. You're always learning. You're always learning, right? That's who you are. And you might have a lot more information than you always share with other people, because sometimes a big part of the learning process is actually figuring it out for yourself. And that, I mean, with this, what people misunderstand about you is like, well, you need to figure this out. You need to figure this out. I can't just tell you how to do it, because the next time you're functioning in life here and you have a problem that is not exactly this, but it is similar, well, now you know how to work your way through it. That's funny. Okay, how this affects you in relationships. A poet in the light expresses soul insight in symbolic language. That's curious, because that's kind of like, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of information here, and you have to figure out how to put it together. Like, what is the deeper meaning? Because what is a poem? A poem can be something that could be very, it's like a song. It's like so many people could listen to the same thing and have a very different perspective on what that is actually saying, or find hidden meaning that's not really there, but you understand, oh, you know what? This word can often also mean this in certain contexts. And if we go further down into the poem, that context is actually represented down there. So I actually think this means that. And if I put that all together, it gives me this idea. That's how this affects you. So I feel you have a lot of information here. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you study, but you're always learning and studying. And you also, I want to say you also value the effort that is taken to learn and study. Whatever, even as if that's just life in general, okay? You appreciate and you value the effort that you've made to learn things. So if somebody needs help in some area of their life, now this is where we're hopping into how some people perceive you, is that maybe they know that you have all of the answers that they need, but you're not giving it to them. So they figure their interpretation of that is, you feel a little bit of power here. You want me to be sort of like needy towards you to get information, where the thing that they're misunderstanding is that by making somebody work harder at understanding, whether it's a lesson or whether it's a problem in their life or a question or something, you want them to be able to realize that they have the power to put these pieces together and figure out what the right answer is. And the right answer for them could even be slightly different than what the right answer was for you. And people, it's almost like people think you're just rhyming this. I don't know what you're talking about. Or, yeah. It's giving me, like, and it's interesting, though, too, that you're the student, though. You yourself are learning. Maybe you also learn through others. Like, maybe there's times where you don't have the answer. And so you just kind of, like, try to discuss something, maybe even on a philosophical level with another person or other people. And through that discussion, you can both learn. But there's got to be something here where people think that you know more than that you do, or that you're not sharing as much as you could to alleviate something for them. What's your untapped potential? Hedonist in the light, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. So it might be a little bit, the untapped potential here could be a little bit of needing to spend more kind of self-care time. It could be like a self-care energy here. Your energy feels kind of inspiring, but I'm really curious, like, is there something that some of you are studying, this lifelong student? I think this is the fact to have humility and devotion to knowledge. There has to be a level of taking your ego and putting it on the shelf at times, because sometimes we can attach what we think is the truth to a sense of ourself. I believe in that truth, and that represents me and what I believe in. So that is always the truth. But then it's kind of like being open to, well, there could be more information here that I don't know about, and not kind of attaching myself to what I thought that was, and being flexible. Because I feel like actually a lot of, I feel like science, and to some degree, used to be more balanced because there was a lot of philosophy incorporated in it. Where now often there can be a lot of research in sort of like scientific endeavors where somebody has the idea, actually not even just in science, in a lot of things. People often have an idea of what they believe the truth is, and then they pursue only the information that supports the truth that they have in their mind. But right, like having, and that's not really, so you could be totally ignoring other pieces of information that don't support the truth that you want to support in your head. So this humility and devotion to knowledge, to me, that's somebody who can do that. That's somebody who can understand that you really never know everything about anything. And so you're always open to what there could be. So this here feels just kind of very different, though, outside of how I'm describing you, like who you are and how others actually perceive you. This is maybe even taking some of that inspirational energy, because, you know, being a student and the poet, that is very inspirational. And embrace some of these good things in life. Celebrate the beauty in yourself. As if there are people that look towards you for, I don't know, help or answers, this is a little bit of that King or Queen of Wands energy too. It's be the leader that no one else is. Be the leader by example. God, benevolent and compassionate. Recognize the internal force within yourself and others. This is a nice energy. I'm really curious to get into this, the rescue card in the reverse. I'll use this one. Okay, well, let's start at the student. I can't just jump to what I want to do. Okay, the student. You have a humility and devotion to knowledge and openness to lifelong learning. The Seven of Swords. Wow, it's like you're looking for information in areas that it's not usually found. You're open to different sources. Different sources? Wow, look at you, the 7 of Swords with that. You're the sneaky student. Looking, but look, isn't it interesting? This person is looking at the bookcase. I never, ever, in all the years I've had this deck, was never really drawn to that fact before. I always thought that they were looking up there at the swords because they're collecting swords. But there's a bookcase there, and the student is covered in books here. There's all books at the feet. There's books around in the canopy. Is holding a book. So you are. You are. And it's looking for information that is maybe hidden, or people are hiding information. Maybe you're even learning how to hide information, how to be sneaky. There you go, the King of Wands. I said it. I said, like, untapped potential. This is like a King or Queen of Wands kind of energy here. King of Wands, the Hermit, and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, you are definitely, you're learning a lot. Maybe even about something or someone here. You could even be learning something historically also with this King of Wands. Like, you could be, I mean, he's just dressed in much, the whole deck is people kind of dressed in older attire. But, yeah, I mean, there could be something here because with this Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles, it definitely thinks that you're learning on your own here. I don't think that you are engaged in some sort of a group learning then. It's not giving me the vibe of like in a classroom setting or even an online setting with a number of other people that have signed up for something. This feels like you're doing this on your own. Like, look, it's like looking here sneakily for a book in the bookcase. And then the last one here, look at, she's sitting there reading a book that she's picked up. This is like research too with the King of Wands. Like what he's searching, and it's research. It feels like research. He's talking to Mr. Cuddles. I love the King of Wands in this deck. Mr. Cuddles, where should we go today, Mr. Cuddles? All right then, that's where we're going. That's the best King of Wands. The other one who's playing with himself under his robe, I don't like that one. I like the King of Wands who talks to Mr. Cuddles. Okay. So, I don't know. I do feel like you're researching something. Maybe how to look after yourself, too, with the Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh! Maybe. Maybe you don't even realize you're learning how to look after yourself. Like, I don't know. Are you discovering... like, it could be something that's your information that you're gaining indirectly here. Through the assimilation of knowledge in many different areas. Because this is the untapped potential, is really like, I want to say this is like a really strong self-care. Okay. How others perceive you, right, is this rescuer in the shadow assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. That's how people think, that you'll rescue people, but you'll keep them needing more or something. I just saw the weirdest thing, like somebody who ends up, somebody, it's weird, just, okay, just hear me out, just hear me out. It's almost like you and someone else end up in some type of like a prison or a dungeon or something like that. And you give this person two things. You give them, like no, it's not, okay, let's reverse that. It's not. Somebody has escaped from something, okay? They've escaped from a prison or a dungeon. I was trying to understand why I was seeing that in my head. They've escaped from a prison or a dungeon, and they've made it to your little castle. And there's two things that you give them. This is the assumption. Okay? There's two things that you give them. A, you give them like regular sustenance, like food and water. But B, you give them like, how do I say this? It's like maybe you put little drops of it in their drink or something like that. It's something that if you don't regularly get the antidote, it acts as poison. Okay? It's like that. Something like that. But it's not what you do. But there's some sort of weird assumption like that's what you do. So if somebody comes to you, they find refuge with you in some way, it's almost like there's a perception here that A, you give them what they need to feel better, but you also put something else in there. So if they wander too far away from the castle, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Give me the antidote. Right? Like, give me the antidote. And that's, yeah. So that, what is that around? That's so curious the way that came through, right? Like, so you rescued me, but now you keep me needy for it. I mean, I don't know. I want to say that could even be like a love or something like that too. And assumes that the rescued will reciprocate. You should be grateful that I saved you. But I'm not really free because you gave me that stupid shit for the rest of my life. I need the antidote every 12 hours and you're the only one with the antidote, my friend. That's how they perceive. Okay, that's the perception. I know, I'm sure it was. I had my astrological chart checked a few years ago by, I can't even remember who it was. And it was, I basically, with my placements, it really did indicate that I was likely very much on the stage at one point. Like, or I was like a king's guard. I had fancy outfits, but I didn't really go to war because it was scary. I could see it. It's like, it's true. Yeah. All right. How is this? Don't scared. Look. Five of Pentacles. Help me. Help me. What do you do here to people? Yeah, I don't know. I learned how to look after myself. You should too. Okay, the Five of Pentacles. The Page of Wands. The Nine of Cups. The Seven of Pentacles. Oh, it's almost like you show... Weird. It's kind of like you show people either the possibility or the dream, but then... they have to figure out their own plan for it. Like there's something here that either you intentionally or unintentionally leave out. I mean, when I say unintentional, yeah, it's either like something you do consciously or subconsciously. And maybe it goes back and forth a little bit depending on the situation and how much you have in your mind that day. But it really does look like you don't give people all of the answers that you need, that they need, because there's value in them understanding it for themselves. You could give them the idea of a dream, but they got to figure out how to build that dream for themselves too. You know, like maybe, I don't know, there could be something here that it's not even necessarily showing up in these cards, but there could be something that you've successfully built in your life. Or something that, like, and it could even be, when I say that, it could be like someone who knits or crochets or does, I'm seeing like a quilt. You know, and it took years to hone your skill. And it's kind of like people see that and go, oh, just show me how to do it and tell me how to do it. But you're a student of lifelong learning. So you're always trying. And it just looks like to me that other people, maybe they want quick solutions too. But I don't know. That is such a funny scene about someone escaping from a dungeon, making their way to your little castle. Like, I'll give you, here, take this drink of water, this slice of bread. So good. Okay, the Thief sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. That's what others misunderstand. Is when you want them to see the strength inside themselves. Honestly, right? You want them to see the strength inside themselves. The Two of Pentacles. They can handle more than they think. Now, there's two sides of what it is that you're doing. What others misunderstand. There's two sides to what you're doing here. One of them is you are helping people to, like, what they don't understand is that you're helping people to see the potential that they have within themselves. And this potential is something that can never be taken. So even if you escaped the dungeon and you feel like you left your pride and your courage back in that dungeon, there's always an aspect within yourself that is never stolen. Okay, there's two sides to every lesson I feel like that you're engaged in with people here. What's the other side? Because that shows me one side. The Three of Cups. Yay! We figured celebrating coming together and celebrating. But it feels like a better celebration when you accomplish it on your own. That's true. That's very true. Yep. It's true. I just thinking here of the times when I was like teaching kids art, and yeah, they'd be enamored by what I could do. But I will always tell them, like, it took me, you're like 10 years old. And at the time I was in my late 30s, early 40s. It's taken me a long time to get to this point. But you could show them how to do it. You could even hold their hands so that they kind of understood the movement of the wrist and the forearm and everything. And they would be like so excited. Look at they'd want to show their parents. And I would always say, I help them a lot with it. I help them a lot with this project. And then you kind of like wean them from that, but they have to learn to make the mistakes, and they'll get frustrated and upset because it doesn't look good. And it's like, just push through. Remember, every mistake is one more way that you've been able to recognize that that's not right and you want to fix it. So fix it. And so they would eventually, and then when they made a piece of artwork that wasn't necessarily as good as what they made with me, but it was pretty good, and they did it 100% on their own. Oh, they came running out of the room to their parents to show them that. Like, look what I did. And then I would say, they did that one on their own. And their parents would be like so proud of them above the one that they did with me. And that's just like, that's what this energy is, right? It's like, yes, you did it. Look isn't it great? Aren't you happy? We're all happy. No. Okay, how this affects you. So it's expressing soul insights in symbolic language. I think that's what you do, though. You try to say things symbolically so people can figure it out. Oh, wow. I really feel like I'm tapping into the creative side of you guys. Like the people here that are quite creative, even if you're not like doing something creative, like as a career or anything like that. You're really, really creative. You're always curious. You're always exploring possibilities, finding possible answers to questions that in areas where no one's looked before. Wow, very, very symbolic. The Two of Wands, Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. You in relationships. I feel like you don't stay put very long. That's the other thing. I don't know what that is about. But maybe it could be a physical thing. Like maybe you move around a lot. You might do that in your work. Maybe you're sort of contract based at different places. Or like even where you work, you might be like really busy. Like you might go here, you might go there, I don't know. Like I'm almost seeing like a supervisor in a plant and going down to quality control and then going on to the production floor and then going up to management and just like, I don't know, it's seeing somebody here who's really busy. And it's almost like there's always somebody looking for an answer from you or looking for some sort of guidance or advice. But again, you don't. And now I'm seeing like a manager on a production floor and somebody saying, what are we going to do? The printer's jammed. Well, I remember a long time ago when I was a young lad or damsel or whatever. What's the lattice? That's just, a lattice? Is that like the feminine for a lad? A lattice. There was a day where I just couldn't poop. It was all jammed up. I put fiber in the system. Fiber and lubrication. It helped a lot. I don't know. I'm about to have a few days off here. I'm pre-recording these, so you can tell. Cindy gets a little weird when she's getting close to holidays and she needs a break. But that would be symbolic, wouldn't it? I'm trying to give advice. I don't know. I'm just thinking, yeah, Cindy's leaving it. Okay. Yeah. You need to put more in the system and lubricate it up, and it'll push that right through the printer. It'll be just great. I know half of you are laughing with me, or more. There's got to be more than you. It's going to be the odd person who's just a real fucking Ugh, stick in the mud. Hey, that's not funny at all. Do you know I can't poop? Well, have a little bit, take some olive oil. Take some olive oil and go to the hospital if it's really bad. But anyways, you're still giving advice very symbolically. Your untapped potential. Inspire creative energy to embrace the good things in life. I wish I had a supervisor like that. Oh, the queen, the queen, the queen of wands. I told you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you learning about the king of wands? Or is the king of wands learning about the queen? What is that? That's so fascinating. Could be too like your masculine and your feminine energies, your creativity here. It's a very creative reading. Someone who is extremely creative here. The moon, the 10 of swords, and the knight of swords. Embrace the good things in life. Celebrate yourself. I don't know what happened here. Like this feels like it just came out of left field. Sorry, my eyes are watering from that laugh. This is some sort of illusion here that causes real. Did somebody make I don't know. What is this? Like, this is an untapped potential, and it feels like it just came out of left field here in the whole reading. Like getting away. It's obviously moving very quickly away from okay, somebody's been hurt. Like we're talking. Okay, I'm going back over to the rescued card. Because that would be someone that you would say, oh, you need to rescue and help that person. They're laying on the ground with all those swords in their back. Maybe you need, I think you need to help yourself as much as you help other people. But probably more directly. I mean, I'm trying to understand how that looks like that. Because this is somebody who you would say to some degree, wow, that person is definitely in a position where they could be helped or rescued. But with the Knight of Swords, it's, no. There might be some way here in particular, like this is being very specific and sort of niche specific in terms of your untapped potential. Is it to inspire? Maybe it's to inspire someone else's creative energy here. Celebrate the beauty in yourself. Untapped potential. There's something you're not seeing for yourself, which is interesting because it looks like you do a lot for others. I got to clarify that. The Tower, the 10 of Cups, and the Magician. Well, it's coming out of some type of destruction into a really nice holistic energy and happiness with others. And building on that, manifesting with that energy. But what is this? Well, maybe, okay, you have the King and Queen of Wands here. For some of you, it's both the your own, like, active and passive energies. You've been actively studenting, okay? That's who you are. And your untapped potential is to be more passively inspiring and more passively celebrating the beauty within yourself, okay? You could have, maybe you've even been studying something to help teach somebody else a topic, or I don't know. What's the King of Wands? What's that? Temperance, Page of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. The King of Wands is that's a weird tempering that energy. It's an energy that doesn't do well tempered. It's not, right? The King of Wands is meant to be exploring and moving and doing stuff here. But it's not either, right? With the Hermit and the 9 of Pentacles. Ah, you know what? You've been spending a little too much time not doing what you want to do. To some extent. Yeah, you've been studying a lot, but it's kind of like at some point, don't you... Yeah. It's reminding me of the scene in It's a Wonderful Life where George is he's, what is he doing? Why is he... Oh, he's fed up being trapped in this little godforsaken, stinky little town. And he runs into, I think it's Violet. And he starts talking to her about, oh, I was reading this and I was reading that and I'd love to. And then she looks at him, she says, George, wouldn't you just like to start living life instead of reading about it? And he's like, yeah, I would. And that's like this. That's like, because that's what you look like. You look like George who's been spending too much time reading. And Violet comes up to you and says, wouldn't you like to just start living life instead of reading about it? Yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe this is honing in a little bit of that energy of, you know, when you all were, what was that reading? I'd have done so much in a short period of time to kind of have this pre-recorded stuff for you. I don't remember now, but it was where you were ready to get out and have fun. Ready to get out and have fun. I mean, it's a little bit of that, because this is, it's not the best. This King of Wands is also somebody who learns a lot through life exploration and not just a book. Not just a book. Okay, so who's this? Who or what is this Queen of Wands? Four of Swords and Eight of Pentacles. This is healing work, perfecting healing. That's it. Okay, perfect the healing. I think there is. I don't know why. Why do you have to temper your King of Wands? Why? Why do you have to temper your King of Wands? Oh, God's in charge. There you go. Oh, King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Eight of Wands, and Six of Pentacles. Well, because there are some physical things here that one must consider, and it really is in the timeline of the divine. So I don't know. It's just that's the energy. So I don't know what the specifics are for you, but that's why. I mean, there's very practical reasons here. Okay, what's the moon? Your whole reading was so understandable until this very last part here. It's a little bit. The Nine of Cups. Okay. The Nine of Cups is connected to that rescuer in the shadow. Somebody makes their way to your castle and you give them the sustenance they need to kind of replenish themselves. But then you give them something else, or they think that. that you've given them something else so they can't wander too far away from the castle, because then they have to come back again. It is, isn't it almost like somebody, maybe even somebody feeling that you put a spell on them? Yeah, like that. That's what that feels like, huh? And that's connected to, I'll tell you what my dreams, I'll tell you some dreams and wishes here. But you got to change your plans. Either you're so symbolic that people might think you're fucking around with them. I mean, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. The Ten of Swords. So, right, this just took me back over to that rescuer, which I talked about, because there's fears and illusions around hopes and dreams and wishes. And the Ten of Swords. What is that? The Ten of Swords came out. Oh, the Seven of Wands. And the Ten of Swords. This bottom part's so odd to me. What's the Knight of Swords? This, oh. What is, no, it is connecting into the rescuer. What have you done to someone? What have you done to, but it's their perception, which doesn't mean it's right. So what is the situation? Because it is this, like, literally, like, this person is working their way towards you, and it's almost like they need life-giving, right? They haven't eaten, they haven't had anything to drink, they're tired, exhausted, and beaten down. They make it to your castle. You give them a little bit of water, I heard wine, so a little bit of water, wine, and bread. And so, the person feels good, but I don't know, it's almost like, well, they can't stay there. They need to, yeah, this was just a stopping point. I need to keep going on. But if they leave the castle, they start to feel weak and sick and old. I got to get back to the castle. And then it's like, why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? That's what this is, because somebody goes through a painful something, right? And then But then this is like, okay, I'm going to keep that away. I'm going to keep it away. I'm going to keep it away. The lighting really changing with these cards. Do I have all the lights on? I do. Lights on. Keep it, but when you keep it away, you still end up, like, that's the weird thing. You still end up with the 10 of Swords again. It's almost like somebody feels like they can't win for losing with you for some reason. The Strength card. The Death card. Oh my God. What the fuck? What kind of potion did you do? It is odd. I don't know the specifics of that. It is weird. It literally is, if somebody wanders too far away from the castle. I want to say the castle is even your energy or your knowledge or something like that. That they start to suffer some type of defeat. They need to go back to the castle. But then when they go back to the castle, there's still, it's almost like you still don't give anything. And you need to find your own strength and courage here to have a rebirth. Maybe there's a lesson that you're trying to teach somebody in a hard way here, but I feel like at this point, it's possible that the person doesn't feel like the lesson is in their own interest here. And maybe there's an adjustment to the lesson that you're trying to teach someone, like with this hedonist, that helps them understand the true strength of themselves without feeling manipulated. Because I want to say that scenario and how this is coming out in these cards, I would think someone would feel, it's almost like either feeling manipulated or feeling like there's a spell cast on them or something like that. The Knight of Swords. Justice and the Knight of Wands. When you don't hesitate, that's just it. You don't hesitate. That's the part. So maybe there's a hesitation. Maybe it's like when somebody tries to crawl away from the castle, they start to feel like, oh, the further I get away, and then they start to back up and they start to feel better. Like, oh yeah, the antidote, like that hot, cold thing, trying to find something. But it's like when you feel the real, like it's almost like an umbilical cord too. Maybe it's also even like an energy cord between you and someone. Because if they go fast, if they go without hesitation, they'll find justice. Is that, I think that it's you. It's weird though, because I'm trying to figure out how, unless somebody thinks you want to be rescued over and over again. That freak Larry put came on here with muddy feet. Shit. This is a very complex reading. It really is a very complex reading. The Three of Swords and the Five of Wands. Look at all the energy coming towards the Three of Swords. Like, I really don't need that. That's very Nemesis. That's very Nemesis. Somebody tried to argue with me in the comments. The Nemesis was kryptonite. It's not. The Nemesis will not be the death of you. The superhero always beats the Nemesis. Always. It's just not easy. Actually, I could say, like, that's kind of a symbolic thing. Maybe some of you were upset about that. You're like, you're not telling me the whole thing. You got to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to ask, what is the unexpected coming towards you and how you can prepare for that? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that in the extended. There's two options in the extended. You can either join the members. If you're going to join the members to get access to 40 to 50 new extendeds a month, plus everything that's already there, please make sure to pick the second tier, which is all extended videos. Or you can go below that link and you can do a one-time purchase on Vimeo. If Vimeo's fucking working, who knows? Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.